wonder if we get free SR since they said in the dev blog that they're gonna reset past decays. No, I doubt it. I don't think they said reset past decays. I thought it said that they're not doing any more resets. Because if everybody just all of a sudden got like an inflation boost, like, man, that'd be a show. Inflation stonks. Oh my god, inflation's gotten so bad that even in-game rankings are getting getting hit by inflation. Being reset to bronze 5 but having diamond hidden SR was a rough blow to my ego. That's tough. Wait, bronze 5 and you were diamond? Did you get reset 2 seasons in a row without playing? That is a very large jump. Blog said they're removing all current and past seasonal rank decay. How would that work though? New to Overwatch, what's rank decay? So, a long time ago, we're talking like 3 years ago, we used to have, actually no, 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, we used to have decay. And so, the ranking system was an SR system, so it was a number. And if you didn't play for a week, your rank decayed by, how much was it? It was 25. Okay, it was 25. So if you didn't play, okay, so this is how it worked, okay? We need MS Paint, I'm not joking. Let's say your rank was 3,500. My monitor just turned off on its own. Okay, there we go. So it was 3,500, okay? Sorry, your account, right? You would start at the beginning of the season when you played your ranked games, you would have 7 days. You'd have 7 days until you decayed by 25. If 7 days passed and you played no games of ranked, you would go from 3,500 to 3,475. But then every day that you don't play, so we're talking like 8, 9, 10, 11, without playing in a row, this would be -2.5, -2.5, -2.5, -2.5. So if you went on and on and on without playing, you could go from theoretically anything above diamond, so masters, GM, really high ranking, all the way down to the floor, which was 3,000. Okay, hang on, I gotta do some math. It's too hard for me. If you didn't play for 2 weeks, you would be automatically down 175 SR, right? This is where it gets kind of crazy though. This is why we need the MS Paint. So if you played a game, right? Like let's say you had 1 day left and you played, you got a bonus back of 24 hours. So 1 day. So if you had, let's say, 1 day left, 1 day until decay, and then you play a ranked game, you would now have either 2 or 3 days until you decayed. So, and that would go for the whole season. So you'd have to play at least like 3 or 4 games a week to get your, and actually it might have been higher. You might have to play 5 games a week or 6 to get back to that 7 days before you decay. So what you had to do to make sure you didn't decay is made sure you got on and played at least 1 game of ranked Overwatch per day if you were at this 7 days like limit already, to make sure that you didn't decay. The big problem with this though was, even if you decayed from, let's say, 4,000 all the way down to 3,000, you would still get placed in 4,000 lobbies. So even though you were diamond, it would show your diamond ranking. You actually were playing in these lobbies. So people would get decayed all the way down, and then you'd have a diamond on your team, and you'd be like, what, do I have a diamond on my team? But people knew that it wasn't actually a real diamond, they had just decayed. This got completely axed with roll queue back in season 17 or 18. I can't show you, I don't have, it doesn't go that far back anymore. So season 17 or 18, we swapped from open queue to roll queue, and they got rid of decay. they figured having Decay on 3 roles was going to be too hard. It was completely axed, gone. What replaced it was Overwatch introduced this system towards the late stages of Overwatch 1, where the highest you could place after 5 games was 3,900. So it didn't matter if you finished the previous season, you know, 43, 4,400, you know, whatever it might have been, right? Like, it didn't matter what you placed. At the start of the season, you would start at 3,900. And no matter what, actually, I probably have archived videos of that. Hold on. Okay. So, these are the placements. This is how it looked. We won 3. We lost 2.
What's the number?
And it didn't matter, no matter what. It didn't matter if we lost all 5, you won all 5. It didn't even matter. Always placed 3,900. The part about that sucked was that you could be 3,900, but your background MMR, your matchmaking rating, was whatever you finished at the last season. And because of that, if you finished like 44, 45, 4,600, you would have extremely difficult games until one of 2 things happened. You either won enough games to hard boost your SR back up, or you lost enough games to align your SR and your MMR again, so then your games became easy again, and then you could climb back up. It was so stupid. It was ass. It was legitimately ass. The newer symbols are absolutely ugly and unpolished. I don't know if I'd say they're ugly and unpolished. It just like, I don't like having to have a degree to like know what my rank means, and I don't like needing to have like the strongest prescription eyeglasses to see what the number says underneath, you know? We should not have MMR matchmaking. It's so dumb. Yeah, but I also understand why they have it, you know? Like, if you didn't have it, then you just like have like the, you know, casual gamer just getting absolutely just dunked on at least a few times a day by the sweaty tryhard player, you know? At least this way, the game technically knows that I can just turn it on whenever, right? Like, the game knows that is a distinct possibility. I just choose to be ethical and play things that are, like, kind of fun and have a good time with it, just kind of, like, run around. Like, I kind of am now in their backline a little. And throw random traps at their Ramasha to try to see if I can get them trapped into it. And that way, like, even though my experience, like, it's just constantly sweaty, it's so that most other players aren't just getting dunked on the entire time. But I will say, there's a part that is very annoying. And I saw Tim talk about this for Warzone, is, as a streamer, one of the most annoying things. I guess it's not the most annoying, but it can be pretty annoying. I've learned to just deal with it. I don't really care that much anymore. Is for Tim, is like people see him playing like Warzone or whatever, and they come in and like, wow, you fucking suck. Like, you're just trash. And it's like, dude, he's playing his MMR of what you would play against for Warzone. It's because, especially because there's no ranked, he's like the highest bracket. And so people, like the casual gamer looks at him dying going, wow, you must be f***ing dog. But the caliber of player that he's playing against is way f***ing higher than what you play against in your average, like your average, like let's say like silver lobby, you know? And it's like, if you put him in that silver lobby, he would look like, you know, like you saw, you know, highlights on TikTok where some dude's going absolutely bananas and, you know, is killed literally the entire lobby basically by himself, you know? And it's like, holy shit, like, you know, that guy's insane. It's like, no, he's just dunking on lower ranked players. Like, it's really not that impressive. But to people's eyes, they're like, oh, you're not getting 15 kills in 6 bullets? Yeah, you're fucking dog, bro. So that's where quick play / like games that have a matchmaking, like, you know, that's not ranked, like skill-based matchmaking and not a ranked game mode, it can be weird because you are basically getting a ranked experience without the reward or / prestige, I guess, of what is ranked, like your rank that you're at, if that makes sense. These are the same people that look at anything before Overwatch League and are like, bronze lobby? Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it's funny. I mean, I see it sometimes too, but I laugh because I'm like, wow, I wish I was that stupid. So like, for example, I'll upload, I don't know, let's say like some DPS gameplay, right? And I'm not the absolute best DPS player. I'm not like the god player, but like, I think low masters for barely playing the role. Like if I took a whole season to grind it, I could probably maybe touch low GM, like I touched GM once. If I just played the whole season, just only played DPS. To be fair, it would probably be bad for me content-wise because my whole brand is tank stuff and people would get really annoyed, so it's actually very much against my best interest to do that. But let's say I decided to just grit my teeth and do it. I probably could do it. But the point is, though, is like, let's say I upload something that's DPS-wise, and they're like, wow, I see gold console players who play about as good as Flats. And I'm like, bro, I spectated what gold console looks like. I spectated that shit. I promise you, it doesn't look like what I do. I promise you. But you're just shouting into the void. There's no point. So, are you so numb to losing in Overwatch? I lost 3 games of comp in a row and I want to never play again. I mean, you're gonna win and you're gonna lose. Like, you're gonna win as many games as you lose over time. Most of the best players in this game have a 51, 52, and at highest, like 53% win rate career-wise. That means you lose 49% of your games. So, sometimes you lose 3 in a row. Sometimes you'll win 5 in a row. It just comes and goes, and that's okay. What's important is, we're gonna go to the bathroom real quick, but what's important is even if you do lose, you still got a little better. You always said if you lose more than you win, it means you're the problem, and not that much on your team. Isn't it both team and the loser the problem?
But pain.
What?
Pain.
You always say if you lose more than you win, it means you're the problem, and not that much your team. Isn't it both the team and the loser the problem? No, is if you always feel like your teammates suck, and you lose all those games, and it's always your teammates' fault, there's one common denominator in all of those games. It's you. So, if all you can ever do is if you feel like you lose every game because of your teammates, do you win all your games because of you? And you lose all those games because your teammates? That seems very unrealistic. Do you have any tips for tank? I can't just like, okay, if I could just give you a magic tip and all of a sudden you're better, I would be a fucking millionaire. Imagine the power I could have. It doesn't work like that. People can give you tips on individual things. Like, you can't, like, just saying, like, give me a tip, like, it's, like, almost an impossible goal there to be able to, like, give you something useful. I could tell you something very generic. I could say die less. You probably die way too often. Most tank players die way more than they should, right? Most tank players die way too often. And they go, what the heck, my heals? Oh, you know, and it's like, there are so many times where you could have played your life a million times better. That's a super generic tip, though. You're not going to understand what I mean because I'm not able to give something more concrete. But it's also why I don't really subscribe to the idea of, like, when people are like, can you give me some tips? It's like, dude, I actually, in good faith, can't give you something helpful because I don't know what your problem is. I can have an idea. Like, if you're bronze, you have everything. Like, literally all of them. You have every problem in the book. You're silver, it's a little bit better, but you still got almost all the problems in the book. You're playing Sigma and silver. Not gonna lie to you. I hope you're a mechanical warlord. I say that because most silver players only understand how to play with Reinhardts. So if you're a mechanical warlord, you can actually probably bully your entire elo with rock left-click combos. Like, no problem. Yeah, I would honestly just bully mechanically. Just kill squishies. Just literally ignore whatever tank they're playing half the time. And then on defense, you just pause from position, just keep shooting them until he gets tired of it. And then when they get aggressive, just back away a little bit. Oh, you. I'm leaving. I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this today. There's a reason why Sigma's win rate isn't crazy high in low elo, but in high elo, it's actually one of the best win rates in the game. Plat is still well, Plat. Okay, you have to understand. When people say the like a rank is shit, right? There's a big perspective factor, right? So like, if I am top of 100 and I see a Plat in my game, I'm like, holy, this guy is dog. Because in comparison, they are much lower skill level than you are. But Plat actually in Overwatch 2 is actually way above the average. So when the game came out, Overwatch 1, 2200 gold was average. Then Overwatch 2 came out, they thought the average was going to be silver. They were wrong. The average of the new players was actually bronze 5. So the average for this game is probably low silver. For like the whole game, low silver. So if you're gold, plat, diamond, masters, you're like way above average. Way above average. But you're also then going to compare yourself to the 0.01% at the top that have been playing this game for 7 years. Of course they're going to say you're dog. Or you're going to hear that. It doesn't actually mean that they're saying you're dog. It's just in the comparison of them. That's like Elon Musk knocks on your door, comes over, and then and you let him in the house, and you've got a nice house, you got a nice 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,000 square foot house. You got 2 cars, you got a Mustang and an F-150 in the garage, actually outside just in case they catch on fire. And you got like a nice car in the garage. You got a nice, you're not nice, middle upper class America. And he comes in and goes, "Wow, you're dirt poor, aren't you?" Holy shit. Like, of course, in comparison, you're dirt poor, but you're not. You're like way above. You are like very much doing well for yourself. Like, it's all perspective. It's all comparison. You know what I mean? So when you hear that, it's very different than what is actually like the true truth, if that makes sense.